Hey guys, how's it going? Today is literally the most random setup in the whole entire world. I'm sitting at my kitchen table right now, and I did a lot of plant shopping over the weekend, and I just thought I would share with you guys some of my stuff. It's that time of year where my plant obsession just annually kicks in, and I'm ready for spring. So what better thing to do than to go walk around a greenhouse, be warm in the winter, and breathe fresh oxygen and be among plants. I was so spoiled in my last apartment. I had panels and panels of southern facing windows. Like almost every single window in my apartment was southern facing with the exception of one east and west. No north, so I had really great lighting in the house. This place is a little bit different. I have one southern window, which is that one right there, and then the rest of them are east facing, which is not bad. I have one north facing, and then at the front of the house, kind of in Lacey's playroom, I've got a big west facing window, but I don't actually get a lot of light in that west facing window because there's this huge oak tree in front of my house. So basically all of my plants have to be back here. It's actually a little bit of a struggle, so I have been kind of getting a little bit creative with hanging plants and different placements. So anyway, things have been a little bit challenging. I have had some casualties after moving in here, just with trying to get things adjusted, plants being in shock, not enough light, too much light, you know how it goes. So a few of them I've had to replace, like this one right here. I can't live without this one. This is like one of my most favorite types of houseplants. I love alocasia so much. These leaves to me just look like prehistoric. They look so cool. So I found this one. This was only $9.99, which I thought was a really good price. This leaf is like bigger than my head, so it's actually got 3 leaves on it, and then we have a little baby leaf over here. It's got a little bit of crunchiness at the tip, but hopefully I can sort that out. I love these. This is the Alocasia amazonica something, I don't know. It's the Alocasia poly. When I lived at the apartment, I had one. It was loving life. It had at one point in time 4 of these big leaves, and then when I moved it went into a little bit of shock, but then shortly after it actually had a bloom on it, which I thought was amazing. So yeah, I must have been doing something right. During the time it bloomed, it was in an east facing window, and then while I was at my apartment I had this exact same plant. This is a new one, obviously. I had it in front of a southern facing window, but it was easily like 8 feet away from the window, so it wasn't getting too much sun. But I just love these. They make me happy. They're so fun looking. And I just feel like this one is definitely one that, like, if people even pay attention to your houseplants, this is one that people definitely ask about because I just feel like it's really unique looking. With this haul, I did try to branch out a little bit and get some things that I've never gotten before, just because I wanted to add a little more interest to the home, you know? So this was probably one of my favorite purchases, and shockingly it was really not that expensive. So I am so obsessed with like teeny tiny little plants. Like I will splurge occasionally on a big plant. Like that one's not huge. That actually is my baby monstera, but I will splurge on certain big plants. Like I have a black coral sansevieria, which is like the snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue, and it's huge. I did splurge on that one, although those aren't terribly expensive. Some big philodendron plants that I will purchase because I want them to be already kind of established. So things like that. I haven't like spent like hundreds of dollars on a plant just because I feel like you can literally get them small and then watch them grow, and then you won't have spent a whole bunch of money on it. So I guess if you have the money and you're impatient, go for it. But if you don't mind watching the plant grow, it's really fun to get them little. So the nursery I like to go to has this cute little section of like baby tropicals, and that's where I got this one. This is a Prince of Orange philodendron, and again, very root bound when I got it, so I went ahead and put it in this little pot. This is actually one that I've had for years and years and years. I had a succulent in this pot, and it just, I don't know how I managed to kill a succulent, but I did. So these little pots, I actually bought them. They were just plain terracotta, and then I have, I think 3 or 4 of these. I painted the rim white and then kind of did a little design on it, and then I sealed it in with some like waterproof Mod Podge just to add a little something extra to the pots. I get really bored of plain pots and plain colors, so I just kind of like to do stuff like this to spice it up, which is fun. So anyway, this one I thought was really cute. I saw a really big one of these at the store that really caught my eye. It wasn't terribly expensive, but I was like, if I can spend like $2.99 and get this tiny little one. Philodendrons grow so fast anyway, so I figured why not spend a little bit of money and get a little baby plant and watch it grow? So that's that. This is something that has been on my plant wish list for a long time, but I've never found one that really looked good at the nursery. This was the first one that I had found that didn't have horribly yellow leaves, crunchy leaves, burnt leaves, which I'm kind of surprised because this is like in the succulent family, so it's not something that should be terribly hard to take care of. I've always wanted a desert rose, and I finally found one that the leaves looked amazing on it. There were a few of them that were in bigger containers than this, but they didn't look as good. So I was like, again, we'll just kind of go with a little baby plant and watch her grow. But the leaves look really nice and healthy. The trunk looks really nice and healthy. This is terribly root bound. I do need to put this in another pot. This, I believe, is in the bonsai family, which those like smaller pots. Money trees, also I've got one of those. Those don't mind smaller pots. So there are some plants that you can get away with it. This was $12.99, so not bad. The bigger ones were, I think, $35. You also have to keep location in mind. I'm in Kansas, and I know places like California and stuff like that, all the nurseries are like, I don't know, I was talking to my brother, and he wanted a Pylea. And I was like, my plant was like putting off tons of baby Pyleas at that point. He like went to the nursery and bought one for like $40 or something like that, and I paid $20 for mine. So location definitely makes a huge difference on like the price of houseplants. So thankfully where I live, they are very, very affordable. So anyway, super excited about this one. I don't know like how soon it will bloom. It might take a few years to actually get some blooms on this guy since it is smaller, but you never know. And yeah, like I said, this was like one of my wish list plants, so I was very excited to finally get it. This was a fun one. I am wanting more cactuses. I have tons of succulents, but there's something about cactuses that just make my heart so happy. I have to be really careful and find, ooh, little fly got stuck in this one. I have to be really careful because I do have a 5-year-old and 2 dogs. So I have to be a little bit strategic with where I put mine, but I do have that fireplace back there where that southern window goes right onto the fireplace. It's kind of a gloomy day today, so not the best representation of the light that I get. So I've got that east and south window right there next to the fireplace, so I pretty much can put plants all across my fireplace, which is cool, and that's completely out of the reach of dogs and children. So I got this little bunny ear cactus, or opuntia. I'm good with some plant names, but others not as much. Anyway, I thought this one specifically was so cute because of that cactus right here. The street name is like the bunny cactus, and this one, it just looks like a little bunny to me with like the 2 ears. So I just loved. Oh, this one looks like a little unicorn bunny. See? I don't know if you can see the ear on that side. This guy looks harmless, but let me tell you, I got some little pokey daggers in my fingers that did not feel good, and I had to dig out with tweezers. So they might look fuzzy and cute, but they'll get you. So really excited to add this cactus to my collection. This one was $7.99. This is a 4-inch pot, so really not bad on pricing. This is something that, for whatever reason, I used to have a Fiddle Leaf Fig tree. Brock hated it and threw it away. Rude, I know. I don't know what his thing against Fiddle Leaf Figs is. For some reason, he just hates them. So I'm gonna be keeping this in my office so it doesn't bother him, because apparently this plant majorly offends him for some reason. I got a baby one because they're very, very finicky, and I haven't had one for years, and I don't trust myself with a big one yet. So this obviously was a cutting from a much larger plant. Unfortunately, the selection they had didn't look great. This one looked the best. It does have some brown spots on it though, which is just unfortunately super common for this type of plant. The top main leaves looked really healthy. This one has very minimal spotting on it. This one had very minimal spotting on it. One in here that actually looked pretty rough. It was this little baby leaf. I don't know if you can see the spotting or not, but on that front leaf. So anyway, point being, I was pretty confident getting this smaller one because again, I haven't had one in years. I think it's been like 3 years at this point since I have had one, and I think I did decent with it, but also it was hard to tell because it got thrown away prematurely. So you can buy these for, you know, hundreds of dollars if you want a full tree, which I thought would look really, really cool in the house. However, this is a small investment to make sure that my home's conditions are okay for this plant. That's another reason to potentially buy smaller ones if you're just getting into plants, or even someone like me who's literally had houseplants for years but just doesn't really trust myself with a big investment on one. Just to make sure your home's conditions are right for whatever plant you want. I paid only $7.99 for this, so I know it's not like the most impressive or amazing looking Fiddle Leaf Fig, but it'll be cute for now. I'll be able to kind of test it out and see how it does, and then if I decide that everything's working out well, I will purchase my big tree. But for now, this will work, and I was really excited to have one of these again, despite what my husband thinks of them. So, does anybody else have a significant other who's like not into plants but like semi puts up with it? Because that's definitely the situation over here. Like, he wants me to be happy and have my hobbies and stuff, but like he's like, okay, we definitely need to find homes for all of these. So anyway, I will find homes for all of them, even if they have to be up in my office or whatever, which has a huge west facing window, so a lot of things I can keep in there even if it's way off the window, so I'm not too worried about it. The next thing I got is oh so cute. It's blooming at the top, which just made me have to have it. This is a Crasseria Poly Pink, technically a cactus succulent type variety. Look how pretty the blooms are. It was like opening up on some of them when I got it, but I just love thick, full leaves like this. I hate it when they just do this on the little thing. They just put cactus. Like, thank you, I want to know what kind so I can take care of it. I feel like places need to, for us plant nerds who like to know like the long scientific name, I would love for that to be on this label so that like I can look it up and know exactly how to take care of it, and also just know how to pronounce it. So anyway, I paid $6.99 for this small little thing, but it actually is very nicely planted. There are some decorative rocks on the top there, and again, you know, it's blooming. So I'll probably leave this in the nursery pot just for a little bit because there aren't any roots trying to come out the bottom. It does look very nicely planted, and this looks like a pretty appropriate pot size for this size of plant, especially being a succulent variety or a cactus type. They don't have super long, deep roots. They're usually pretty shallow, so I think I'll be able to get away with leaving it in the nursery pot for a little while. Okay, so the color on this one was speaking to me in another type of way. It has been so gloomy and gray here recently, so when I saw this, it just made my heart so happy. Look, it's so cute. I don't know what this is called. It just says cactus grafted, which tells me that it's just part of a larger cactus. I have had one of these before. I actually have another pink one just like this that I have had for maybe 6 years. They're very, very slow growing. Maybe it would have grown a little bit quicker if I would have potted it up and fertilized it more, but I noticed these to be pretty slow growing. But this one, I don't know if the camera is even gonna do it justice. It's this beautiful coral on the outside, and then when you get kind of like more into the little ball at the top, it's very, very bright neon orange, and it was just screaming springtime to me. So I couldn't pass this up. It was $6.99. Some of these leaves need to be cleaned. There's like lots of dust. I don't know if that's from my house or from the nursery or what. Okay, so I have this Hoya. This is a Carnosa Crimson Queen. There's not a whole lot of crimson happening on this plant, and this plant actually looks pretty rough if I'm being honest. I just thought it was really cute to have like something, I don't know, maybe next to the sink over there in the little kitchen window or something, I don't know. Very, very pretty. I love the variegation on it. Like I said, not a ton of the crimson situation happening. You can see a little bit on the stem here. I definitely need to repot this. I feel like Hoyas do better in terracotta. That way they don't get like soggy roots. But the leaves on this look pretty rough, but I think overall it's probably okay. Like some of the leaves are better than others. Like these down here are like really thick, and then this one's pretty flimsy. So Hopefully I can give this a little TLC and bring her back to life. This was $9.99, so really not a bad price for a Hoya like this. I know it's not like a super uncommon one by any means, but Hoyas usually tend to be quite expensive, so I thought this was an okay deal. Okay, so that was like most of the plants that I bought. I also wanted to share with you guys a few plants that I have had propagating for a very, very long time. This one's literally been propagating for a year, and I've been really, really excited about it. This one has grown so well in water. It started out with literally just 2 leaves. It's a Philodendron Brazil, and it is just looking so good. I have all of this new growth right here. And I just love plants that kind of like spill over the edge. The leaves look so healthy and beautiful. I literally just potted this up last night, but it's been in water for an entire year. The leaves look really good. They are getting a little bit smaller on the vine, so I was like, okay, I think it's time to go ahead and put it in some dirt. That way I can get some big full leaves again. But yeah, so I was really excited about that. I finally get to kind of put this out and display it so it feels like a new plant to me, so I'm including it in this haul here. Yeah, I don't know, I think every plant person like loves philodendrons just because they're just beautiful, and like I love how majestic they are. They just spill over, they can get so bushy and so long and viney. They're just amazing. So I plan to put this kind of right there on the fireplace. We shall see. I just want it to get long and, you know, grow down and be beautiful. I also had a plant that while we were moving the first time last year out of the apartment, the plant was clearly dying and on its last legs, so I took a cutting from a healthy part of the plant and rooted it in water, and I've been rooting it since I don't know, like early spring of last year. So I guess probably around a year for this one as well. This one didn't do as well as the Philodendron Brazil. These were rooted at the exact same time. So clearly this one just had more of a will to live than this one. But this one is a silver and pothos, and I just thought the leaves on this were so beautiful. I didn't want to part with it, but the mother plant of this one was just looking awful and just wanted to put her out of her misery. So I took a little cutting and it's doing okay. It has pretty decent sized roots, but I did notice some of the roots in the container getting a little bit mushy. So I was like, okay, this one clearly needs some dirt. So hopefully this will start to spill over and look beautiful. If you're noticing like different markings on these little nursery pots, I always save these. So I just have them kind of like laying around so that if I ever need to pot up, I've got like a good size. So this one, the original plant that was in here was a Marble Queen Pothos. So anyway, really excited about this one. I love the leaves on this particular plant. I feel like they look really beautiful and they're super silvery. There's not as much green as sometimes you see on this plant, so I'm really excited to see what this one does. Okay, and then the last 2 things are little babies that my mama Pylea put off. This is the mama Pylea. The proper name is Pylea Pepperomoides, and that is what it looks like. I love these so much. I want these all over my house. They just make me happy looking at them. Like, does that not just make you super happy? Okay, so mama's been struggling. She was putting off a couple babies. One of the babies died. One of the babies looks awesome. And then the bottom leaves around here were just like drooping and looking yellow and just not happy at all. So I did go ahead and pick those off to give the rest of the plant more energy, and it looks way happier and healthier now. I do have a new little growth coming on in here, so I think pulling those bottom leaves off was definitely the way to go. I gave her a little fertilizer and she seems to be a little bit happier now. I do feel like this one's gonna need to be potted up soon. It could be way off, but I was curious, any of my other plant people, can you pot and put dirt up the stem, or will that suffocate it? I know some plants you cannot do that. This one specifically, it's just getting a little like lanky right here, and I like it when it, I don't know, like a little bit shorter and squattier. So I don't know if planting up the stem at all would hurt the plant, but any other plant people, let me know in the comments down below, because I don't want to do anything to hurt this plant. This thing has put off like, I think 7 babies so far, and I've just been like giving the plants away to people who want them. I think this is definitely gaining attraction within the last few years here in the United States, but for a while there it was really hard to find, so they are still actually pretty expensive when you find them at the nursery. I was looking at one like this size. This is one of the babies, and this was like $10 at the nursery. I obviously didn't pay that. This is from the mother plant, which is really cool. So it kind of clones itself. There's tons of new growth right there. All you do basically, it has its own little stem, and when you notice those in your plant, you just kind of dig a knife down, cut it off. You can root it in water, you can root it in soil. I've had the best luck just sticking these in a pot. I do prefer water propagation, but with these specifically, I've had better luck just sticking them in soil. This was one of the babies. This is another one of the babies. This one I've had off of the mother plant for a little while now, and it's not super happy. I'm not really sure what I'm doing wrong. I had it originally in a pot this size, and it just kept dropping leaves. Like, it's only ever been able to keep 3 on at a time, and so I'm thinking maybe the pot's too small. It's getting the same light as like all of my other ones, so I don't really know. Maybe this one's just not happy. So here's one of the other babies. I'm hoping to grow this one bigger and maybe gift it to somebody, because I don't know, I feel like everybody loves this plant. Like, whenever I have people come over, that's like one of the ones that they ask me about, because I have it just kind of sitting on my kitchen table. I just feel like it's a cute little centerpiece. So yeah, I love gifting those. They're really fun. They're really, really easy to take care of. Most peperomias are. I don't really have too hard of a time keeping those, because they are not necessarily a succulent, but they're kind of a succulent type. They're really easy as far as maintenance and care and stuff. The leaves on the Pyleas are a little bit finicky. If you don't give them like filtered water, they'll get like brown spots and be a little bit unhappy, but if you just give them filtered water, they will be like happy as a clam. So anyway, that is my massive plant haul. I had so much fun shopping. Oh my gosh, getting out and feeling like you're outside, but like being in the warmth of the greenhouse was so, like, my soul needed that, okay? This winter has been really rough on me. I definitely am one of those people that have a seasonal depression, and it has been hitting me hard this year, like really, really hard. And I feel like taking care of plants and plant shopping like really, really does a lot for boosting my mood and just making me happier, because it just feels like springtime. I don't know why the heck I still live in Kansas, if we're being completely honest with you, because every single year I question why I live here. I would so much rather be hot than cold. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you're like a cold weathered person, or if you like, I would rather be sweating my ass off than sitting here shivering. Like, I don't know about y'all, but that's just me. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the plant haul. If there's anything that I need to buy, there's nothing else I need to buy, let's be real. If there's anything else you think I need to have in my collection though, I would love your suggestions in the comments down below. There are a few plants on my wish list that I'm like hell-bent on finding. Let's see, let's just pull up my wish list. Girl, I've got a lot on here. The one that I really, really want though, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right, the Begonia Tamaya, whitey eye, something, blah, blah, blah. Feels like I'm speaking a different language. The really pretty one with like the back underside of the leaves that's red and then the little polka dots. Oh, that's like top of my wish list. So I'm gonna be on the hunt to find that. But yeah, let me know if there's anything else that I need to add to my collection. Hopefully you guys found some cute little plants that maybe you could add to yours. And I hope you enjoyed this content. I know I don't do like tons of plant stuff on this channel, but I do dabble a little bit here and there, especially like right now when I'm feeling grossly uninspired with makeup. Don't ask me why. I don't know, there's just nothing coming to my brain, and I'm just like, plants. So I feel like this happens this time of year every year, so it is what it is. I'm just learning to accept it. Okay, I'm rambling now. If you've made it this far, you're the real MVP. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love to have you be a part of my family. Click the subscribe button down below, and I will definitely try to do some more plant content this spring. I'll have garden stuff and then my regular scheduled content as well. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.